Hi, good morning everyone. I am sure you have heard of the word ethics. In general, it is concerned with moral principles. It is a principle of what is right and what is wrong in human behavior and conduct. So, ethics is an accepted good behavior. Now, how about in dentistry? Are we bounded by ethics? For today, our topic will be ethics in dentistry. At the end of this lecture, you should be able to discuss the principles of ethics, recognize the evolution of ethical principles, explain the Malaysian Dental Act 1971 and 2018, and also able to recognize the Code of Professional Conduct. The word ethics is derived from Greek ethos, meaning character or conduct. It is used interchangeably with the word moral, which is derived from the Latin word mores, which means customs or habits. And this refers to conduct, character, and motivations involved in moral acts. Now, ethics are an unwritten code of conduct that encompass both professional conduct and judgment. However, the written ethical codes may be very detailed and vary from profession to profession. The underlying principles of ethics, however, remain the same. Dentists belong to a profession that is highly looked up in society, and its members have very high ethical standards. Being a dentist, we are often subjected to strict routines and stressful situations. And the decisions that we have to make or actions sometimes may seem doubtful and even unethical. And it's very important to note that excellence in our daily practice is an ethical behavior that will give credibility and trust to our profession. Why is ethics in dentistry equally important? This is because oral health is an intrinsic part of general health. Therefore, the same fundamental ethos, values, and norms will guide its practice. Oral health care must be approached with the same diligence as medical care. By implication, the importance of ethics is also an integral part of the dental profession. The core values of first, do no harm, and put the patient first apply to this very day to both medical and dental profession, as highlighted by Hippocratic Oath more than 2,000 years ago. Ethics deal with the right and wrong behavior and includes values, high standards of conduct, either on a professional and personal basis, especially when interacting with each other. These are important qualities as we provide dental care to our patients. There are two basic questions in ethics. Question number 1 is, what should I do? Question number 2 is, why should I do it? Ethics refers to what you should do rather than what you must do. The law deals with what you must do. Why do we need a code of ethics? There are 4 main reasons. Number 1 is to demonstrate to the public the standard of conduct that can be expected from its members. Number 2 is to increase the ethical consciousness and ethical responsibility of its members. Number 3 is to guide its members in making informed ethical decisions. And number 4 is to establish a standard for professional judgment and conduct. Now let us compare between ethics and law. We already know that law is something that we must do, and ethics is something that we should do. So to summarize, law is more specific and decided by court, but ethics is subject to individual interpretations. Now let us look at the history of medical ethics. Medical ethics has evolved over time. In the Egyptian medicine, rigid rules were laid down, and if these instructions were not followed, it would lead to severe penalties. While in the Babylonian medicine, the first known legal code was the Code of Hammurabi, developed in 1900 BC. And the features of the Babylonian medicine include elements of medical ethics, the payment system, which is based on results, the ability to pay and the patient status, and the penalties for negligent failures. Then there is the Greek medicine, which is considered to be the most important, as it is the beginning of medical etiquette and the birth of Hippocratic Oath. There was a need for coordinated instruction, registration of doctors, and the need for public to be protected. It was also clearly stated the benefit that doctors give to his patients, the nature of doctor and patient relationship, and the doctrine of medical confidentiality was also expressed. Lastly, medical ethics based on Jewish and Christians' influence. For the Jewish, medicine is governed by law and is administered by priests. So rights of individual must be sacrificed for the good of community. For example, the need to isolate patients and to look into the disposal of domestic waste. As for the Christians' influence, they will look at concepts of equality, charity, and devotion to the less fortunate. FDI, World Dental Federation International, has outlined principles of ethics for the professional dentist, amongst which the dentist must practice according to the art and science of dentistry and to the principles of humanity. And the primary duty of the dentist is to safeguard the oral health of patients, irrespective of their individual status. And the dentist should also refer patients that require treatment beyond their competency. And they must ensure professional confidentiality of all the information about their patients and the treatment rendered. The professional dentist must accept responsibility for and utilize dental auxiliaries strictly according to the law. All aspects of professional life must be dealt with ethically and must adhere to rules of professional law. They must continuously develop and update their professional knowledge and skills. They should support oral health promotion and be respectful towards professional colleagues and staff. In whatever they do, in whatever manner they act, they must never forget to enhance the prestige and reputation of the profession. To be more specific, dental ethics is a branch of ethics that deals with moral issues in dental practice. It's an intrinsic component of dental practice, where dentists are often faced with situations that require ethical judgment and behavior. So I will be showing you 4 cases for you to look at. And I will give you some time to read all the cases, and at the end of it, we decide what is ethical and what is not. Okay, we now look at case 2. Are you done? Now let us look at case number 3. Okay, now let us look at the last case. Now, have you made your decision as to what is right and what is wrong? Okay, in summary, what we notice is that in all the cases presented, they raise questions about the behavior and decision-making of dentists, and not the scientific or technical questions, such as how to apply a local anesthetic or extract an infected wisdom tooth. But the questions raised are about values, rights, and responsibilities. Now we decide in all the 4 cases which is the right thing to do. Another important aspect in the health profession is confidentiality. In fact, if you remember, confidentiality is outlined in one of the principles of ethics. We have an obligation to respect patients' privacy. And in health, confidentiality mostly refers to the obligation of professionals who have access to patient records or communication and to hold that information in confidence. Sometimes, conflicts arise involving the principles of confidentiality. Thus, there is a need for us to balance patients' right to confidentiality. For example, do we report the suspected child abuse case or do we keep silent? One of the basic examples in confidentiality is that patient would expect conversations with health personnel be kept confidential. To safeguard confidentiality, you must write your own records. Remember that all records are confidential and written consent of patient must be obtained at all times. The next topic in this lecture is Dental Act 2018. Now let us look for some brief information about the Dental Act. It was passed in Parliament and the first reading was on the 27th of November 2017, and finally on 26 June 2018, the Dental Act 2018 was gazetted. Features of the Dental Act 2018, there are substantive amendments and repeal Dental Act 1971. What are the reasons for amendment of the Dental Act? Number 1 is for more effective regulation. Number 2 is to strengthen disciplinary procedures. And number 3 is to review the fees and penalties. The new Dental Act has professional qualifying exam, registration of dental specialists, registration and regulation of dental therapists, linkage of CPD credit points and professional indemnity with the renewal of APC or annual practicing certificate, and strengthen the enforcement capability and capacity. The public engagement was conducted in 2012. It started off with briefing of profession on the 8th of July, and this is followed by public engagement which took about 25 days. Discussion with fraternity and interested parties was done in August and September, and discussion on the feedback with amendments of committee and profession done in September. Now for a quick look at the parts of the Dental Act. As you can see, there are 3 additional parts in the Dental Act 2018 as compared to Dental Act 1971, and these are the Malaysian Dental Therapists Board, offences, and enforcement. Part 2 is about the Malaysian Dental Council. We will look further into the establishment, functions, membership, secretary, and committees of the Council. The Malaysian Dental Council is a body corporate with perpetual succession and a common seal established under the Dental Act 1971. And the functions of the Council are recognize qualifications, approve postgraduate qualifications, register dental practitioners, register dental specialists, determine the criteria to register dental specialists, regulate examination for dental surgeons, period of compulsory service, regulate the standards of practice, regulate ethics and professional conduct, regulate the scope of practice, and other things. Membership of the Council comprises of the following and is headed by the President, who is the Director General of Health, and the Registrar, who is the Principal Director of Oral Health Program. In summary, the membership of the Council has increased to 26 members, and 50% participation is from the private practitioners, with the inclusion of 2 dental therapists. Secretary to the Council is a dental officer from the Ministry of Health, and the responsibilities of the Secretary to the Council includes management of affairs, implementation of decisions, and other duties. Committees of the Council may be set up whenever necessary or expedient, and the committees are chaired by dental surgeon, directed by the Council, and must conform to procedures. The members could be any person, but the term of office is dictated by the Council, and the composition of the committees may be altered. Now, Part 3 is the Malaysian Dental Therapists Board, which is a new feature in the Dental Act 2018. We will look further into the functions of the Malaysian Dental Therapists Board. It is to register the dental therapists. Function of the board number 2 is to register post-basic dental therapists, to regulate the standards of practice, and to regulate the ethics and professional conduct. Now, the membership of the board comprises as follows. The chairman is the principal director of Oral Health Program, and the registrar is the head profession of the dental therapist. And here, if you can see, there is one council member who is also members of the Dental Therapist Board. Number 82 is the Code of Professional Conduct. All practitioners shall comply to the Code of Professional Conduct, and any breach of conduct will be subjected to Complaints Committee. Number 83 is the Guidelines and Directives. All practitioners shall comply, and any breach will be subjected to disciplinary authority. These are some of the guidelines available in the Malaysian Dental Council, including the Code of Professional Conduct. The Code of Ethics was established with the aim to safeguard the health of the patient by promoting high standards of personal conduct and professional ethics among the dental practitioners. In line with this objective, the Malaysian Dental Council adopted the Code of Ethics entitled Disciplinary Jurisdiction and Code of Practice in 1983, followed by the Code of Professional Conduct in 1997. The latest version of the Code of Professional Conduct supersedes the previous versions and is applicable to all dental practitioners. The Code of Professional Conduct contains a set of ethical guidelines which should act as advice to all dental practitioners. And with other MDC guidelines, it also assists the dentist to exercise professional judgment and to accept personal responsibility, and to always remember to act in the interest of public in general and his patients in particular. The Code of Professional Conduct consists of 3 parts. Part A is obligations and responsibilities. Part B is practice management, and Part C is infamous conduct. Part A, under obligations and responsibilities, it will cover the patient, the dental profession, colleagues, and the public. While in Part B, under practice management, it covers establishment of the practice, professional qualifications, ranks and awards, notice to patients, advertising, infection control, contracts, endorsement and usage of pharmaceutical and dental products, dental radiography and radiation protection, and statement of certificates. Part C is infamous conduct. One of the functions of the Dental Council is to institute and carry out disciplinary proceedings in regard to a practitioner who has been accused of infamous conduct in a professional respect. Now, the phrase infamous conduct in a professional respect was defined in 1930 as by Lord Justice Scruton as follows. Infamous conduct in a professional respect means no more than serious misconduct judged according to the rules, written or unwritten, governing the profession. Sometimes there may occur questions of professional conduct which do not come within any of these categories. In such instances, the Council has to consider and judge upon the facts presented. Any behavior which reflects adversely on the reputation of the profession, such as dishonesty, indecency, or violence, would be liable to have serious consequences. Infamous conduct is doing something reasonably regarded as disgraceful or dishonorable to the profession, or a serious misconduct judged according to the rules, written or unwritten, governing the profession. Neglect or disregard of professional responsibilities, abuse of professional privileges and skills, or doing something that is disrespectful or derogatory to the reputation of the profession, advertising, canvassing, and other related offences. There are 10 golden rules to remember and to follow. 1 is upgrade professional knowledge and skills. Number 2 is good communications. Number 3 is kindness, ethics, and honesty. Number 4 is doctor-patient confidentiality. Number 5 is good patient records. Number 6 is conscious of cost. Number 7 is second opinion and referrals. Number 8 is relationship with colleagues. Number 9 is avoid publicity and self-promotion. Number 10 is to promote global health. In conclusion, I will share with you some of the tips for success. Number 1 is good and effective communication at all times, in particularly to your patients. Number 2, have a clear conscience. Know what is right and what is wrong morally. Number 3, practice good manners based on the principle of ethics. And lastly, maintain detailed records, especially of your patients. We have come to the end of the lecture, and if you want to do further reading, please refer to the Dental Act 2018 and Dental Act 1971 for comparison, and also read up the Code of Professional Conduct by Malaysian Dental Council. Last but not least, I would like to thank Dr. Elise for sharing with me some of her slides. Okay then, see you all. Bye-bye.